Hey Mendel, who are you? What's your nationality and what's your occupation?
I'm a scientist who is a pioneer in the field of genetics, and I study heredity through the experiments in my garden by experimenting few plants. I was born in Silesian, which is a part of the Austrian Empire by a German-speaking family.
When is your birthday?
My birthday is July 20th, 1822.
Mendel, sum up a little bit about your childhood.
First off, I was born as the middle child with two sisters and me being the only boy. I grew up as a poor farmer's son and worked in the garden by family owned. I studied beekeeping because I loved biological science. I was recognized as father of modern genetic. I got sent to a nearby town for my education, which led me to the University of Olomouc, where I studied physics. When I graduated from this program, I began studying to become a monk at St. Thomas Monastery, where I was given the name Gregor.
What is something you're trying to figure out about heredity and traits?
I was trying to figure out heritage I was trying to figure out heritage traits from parents to offsprings. I also discovered traits by determining physical characteristics. If the observation didn't show up in offsprings, then it would blend from generation to generation.
What was your experiment with pea plants and your pollination techniques?
I experimented the pea plants by looking at 7 different characteristics of the plants and mated the plants with each other by using my hand. By focusing on one trait at a time, I cross-pollinated these plants to examine their offsprings, meaning mixing the pollen in the male flower and the ovum of the flower with each other, or when one type of flower pollinates another type, resulting in a hybrid plant. The first generation was the F1, first file, was 2 parents with different characteristics, and the F2 generation was the recessive forms of the trait.
What did you conclude and observe about your experiment and discuss your 3 laws?
I concluded that some traits seemed to be the strong one, and if you cross 2 plants that both had the weaker trait, you would get only plants with this weaker trait. My first law is of dominance, and this law means that offspring that are hybrid for a trait will only have the dominant trait in the phenotype. My second law is the law of segregation, and this law means when you have 2 genes, you only pass one, and whichever gene you get, it's random. My third law is law of independent assortment, and this law means when there are 2 separate traits, they act independently.
Thank you. It's nice meeting you, Mendel.